crime. I think we follow up on what's going on in Washington, D.C. after my podcast of a week or so ago talking about Trump coming in with the military. Here's some comments on that.
Well, the drop in crime is breathtaking. Since federal action began, Washington has gone 7 straight days without a single homicide, not one murder. And carjackings, which have been a huge problem here, they've plummeted 83%. Meanwhile, robberies down 46%, car thefts have declined 21%, and violent crime overall, that's down 22%. Not bad at all.
Yeah, those are impressive, very impressive statistics. Even J.D. Vance has a few comments about it.
Crazy statistic. Violent crime has dropped in D.C. 35% in 9 days. Robberies in D.C. have dropped 55% in 9 days.
Yeah, and here's some info about Pam Bondi, our Attorney General, and what she has to say about Washington, D.C.
Good morning. Attorney General Pam Bondi posted an update on X announcing that last night another 87 arrests were made and 4 illegal firearms were seized. President Trump has taken common sense steps to reduce violent crime. Law and order, safety, security. As I said last night, it is a prerequisite for any American to pursue happiness. Now, something every American should be on board with. That should not be an issue red and blue. No, it should be, red, white, and blue. But inexplicably, the left wants no part of the effort to make our country safe and secure for you and your families.
So you see, it's working. You can bring crime down. They're trying to say it's like the Gestapo. It's stupid. I mean, the Gestapo went in and broke windows on stores and kicked out the Jews who owned stores. This is only about law and order and saving lives. Safety is what it's about. Stop the murders. Don't you want to stop that? How can you be on the wrong side of that? But the Democrats manage to do it every time. They latch on to the wrong issues. Then they don't understand why they're losing. American people are not supporting those issues. For example, here's the Chicago mayor. Oh, this is disgusting.
This morning, Politico sounded the alarm for Democrats, saying that if Trump's latest actions were an attempt to goad Democrats into saying crime isn't a problem, they did not disappoint. And there's no better example than Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson, who has gone into full-blown meltdown mode over President Trump's efforts to take on crime and keep people safe. He was appearing on MSDNC's Liberal Morning Joe. Mayor Johnson refused 5 separate times to answer when asked if he'd accept more police funding for 5,000 cops and whether or not it would help safety and law and order in Chicago. Watch him duck and dodge and weave. Take a look.
I'm curious, would you also like to get federal funding to help put 5,000 more cops on the street in Chicago? Would that help drive down crime?
Well, look, policing by itself is not the full strategy.
No, I understand that. You've talked about the other things you want. Would 5,000 more police officers on the street in Chicago be helpful to go along with all of those social programs that a lot of cities are engaging in and having success with?
Well, look, here's the best way I can put it, Joe, is that in the 90s when I was in high school, we had 3,000 more police officers and we had 900 people being murdered every single year in Chicago. It's just not policing alone. Of course, we want more detectives.
I know it's not policing alone. But do you believe that the streets of Chicago would be safer if there were more uniformed police officers on the streets of Chicago?
I believe the city of Chicago and cities across America would be safer if we actually had, affordable housing. Look,
okay,
I'm not saying that
that's not the question I asked.
I don't believe that we should narrow it down to just police officers, Joe, is what I'm saying. That is an antiquated approach. I'm saying we've invested in detectives.
Mr. Mayor, are you hearing what I'm saying? Would an additional 5,000 cops on the streets in Chicago help complement those programs to make Chicago safer?
Look, we are working hard to make sure that our police department is fully supported.
Can you believe this guy? He had a chance to, or Chicago had a chance to elect a law and order mayor. They chose this guy instead. When he commented nothing about law and order when he was running. So they went from one mayor who was terrible at law and order to another one who's terrible at law and order. And he doesn't want any help from the military. He refuses to even acknowledge what more cops would do for him. This is what the Democrats are, my friends. So, that's all I have to say for now. Give me your comments. I'd like to hear what you think about all of this. Till next time.